Welcome to a new video, a new VOD review. We'll do this in English because I want to attract an international fan base. Of course, I don't know about having a fan base, but we can try. I'll try in every language possible. So see me do some French and some German videos in the future. But apart from that, welcome to the VOD review of G2 versus OG that happened last week. It was the match of the week. Both teams came to Rift with a 3-0 scoreline, and in the end G2 won. But how did they win? I saw a lot of people saying that the game was boring and the game was underwhelming, but I think that we got what we came from. I think OG played how they played all the games, and G2 played how they played most of the games. I think at least how they played second week games, so way better than the first week, because of first week they were going a bit overboard, but especially in the laning phase. But I think OG got punished a lot because of they didn't want to to take risks, but G2 know how to punish that kind of playstyle. So in the end, G2 won, and so it wasn't really like some big upset, but pun intended. But I think the game is really interesting because you can see how the teams want to play. In particular, I think OG really need to look at this game and understand that there were many points in the game where they had to make decisions and they didn't do them. Like, they didn't do anything, and but it wasn't anything like really new out of OG. I think the Rogue game was an example of how they took too much time because they didn't want to take a risky Baron, but they never did anything until like 36 minutes. So yeah. Okay, so there are many interesting things in this game. I think we can start with pick and ban phase. Like, Origen are known as a really good draft team, and G2 are like the curveball team because they can play everything in every position. So we're gonna do it at double the speed so we can see everything. Like, we don't need to like get everything here, right? So G2 here are banning mostly junglers on so it's Java and Gragas, and now let's see, and Kiana, which can be played both mid and jungle, but I guess it's just to take everything possible away from the jungle. I don't agree with the Kiana ban. I don't think, even though Xerxes is a really good Kiana, I don't think Kiana is a strong pick right now. So like, she still has a really good ult, but apart from that, the kid is not that good. And from what we've seen these past weeks, I don't think she's as good as the other meta picks. So I don't agree 100% on this ban, but yeah, it is what it is. Origen ban Akali, which is a pick you must ban on red side because you don't want to let them first pick it. Syndra, which is a really good pick in general, and in particular with G2 because they can move it from mid to bot. And it's just a really good, and perks and caps are really good Syndras. And then Elise because another jungle champion, and Yankas is really good on it. So right now we have a position where probably they're gonna first pick either jungle or ADC, because we have both Aphelios and Senna open, so they're gonna go for something like that. Now, and we have Senna. And now we have Rakan and Xayah. Like, I don't agree with this. Rakan and Xayah. I mean, this is something that I've seen in a lot of teams, but I think that when the other team first picks an ADC, because we know Senna is played only ADC, at least from what we've seen, he's only played ADC. So maybe they know something that I don't know. Maybe they're like scared it could go into mid lane or into bot lane or something like that. But until we see something like that, I'll just say that because they know that it's an ADC, they could just pick Rakan And on second rotation, pick a jungler, because there are like not many open. There is Rek'Sai, there is Olaf, and there is Lee Sin. But Olaf and Rek'Sai are really like, I don't like them. I think they scale really badly, even more than other junglers. And the kit is completely useless if they don't like steamroll the first 15 minutes, which is something that Origen doesn't do. So I think they should have took Lee Sin here to take it away from Jankos, so going like Rakan and Lee Sin. So yeah, I don't agree with this pick, but yeah, still not bad. So G2 here go Lee Sin and LeBlanc, which is one of the strongest 2v2s mid-jungle in the game. And here, Origen has to pick jungler, because if they don't pick it, they'll just take every jungle away, and it's a real problem. But now, from what we see, we have like ADC, jungle mid on one side, and ADC support jungle on the other side. So I still think like the first 3 rotations G2 really won, because they have a really good 2v2 jungle mid, and they have a really good ADC, but it's a really standard draft after all still. Now here we can see some strange bans, because on the side of Origen they ban Morgana, which is a ban of support Morgana. Now, I can understand the attack on Mike, because, you know, Mike is a really good Morgana, and Morgana is a counter of Rakan. But Morgana is not that strong right now, at least I don't think so, it's that strong. So I think on that ban they should have been Trash, or something similar to that. So, I don't know. And they could have banned Leona. I don't think they were gonna play Leona, but they could have banned like more normal sports. And on 5 they should have banned Aatrox, because Aatrox, even though like is a strong pick, he's not a particular pick. Like you can deal with Aatrox, and by banning Aatrox you take it away from yourself too. And instead, like, you can see G2 are just attacking the mid lane, so every pick possible, they try and take it away. It was still Zoe open, they could have went with Zoe, they could have went with Galio, there were still some pick opens, but they went with Sylas, which is still a 0% win rate in competitive. And it is not horrible, I don't think it's the reason why they lost this game, but it feels like if he's behind, it's never coming back. Now this Soraka is it's a flex pick, but not really, because it's in the top lane. And now top lane Soraka means that if LeBlanc and Senna get ahead, they're never gonna die. So it's just no, G2 are on the point of with their draft. If they get ahead, they won't lose. Like it's almost impossible to lose, and they can play on the side lanes with LeBlanc, because LeBlanc is a really good a split pusher. And instead you have OG with the Rumble pick, which is countered by Soraka, by the way. They told this inside the cast. I think Frosk said it, that Rumble, his ult is completely countered by Soraka ult, because after you ult, you deal some damage, you may slow them with allies, but Wunder can just press R and all that damage is gone. So it's not a big deal. I think when he has Morellonomicon, it can be annoying on Soraka against Soraka, but until then, like it's not the best pick. But he still has push on top, so it's not the end of the world. But you can see that G2 is, if they make the right moves, they win this game. Like that's the thing. They have a better draft, so, and if they are ahead, they should win most of the fights. They shouldn't fight the team fight that much. They have someone they can send to the sides, while Origins don't have that because Silas is not a great side laner. So it's on G2 to win this game, and it's on OG to not lose this game, but it's not looking well, let's say, just after looking at the drafts. Okay, so let's go to the start of the game. Should be here. Okay, so we see that there are 10 trinkets, so no strange invade inside the game, so everyone should start standard. At the beginning, Rek'Sai is a slight counter to Lee Sin, because if Lee Sin goes in, you can unburrow and knock him up and like negate the second part of the Q. So Lee Sin here doesn't want to fight 1v1 with the... Well, let me slow down here. Let me go 1.5. Doesn't want to fight with the Rek'Sai, but they probably just want to chill in the early game. They have like no big interest in fighting. Bot should be pushed by OG because Kai'Sa has a not Kai'Sa. Xayah has a better push over Senna, but mid lane should be pushed by G2 and top should be pushed by OG. Okay, so here Destiny fucks up really hard because you can see here, I don't know if you can see, but here Mickey has got Aftershock after the first trade. He got it back, so the cooldown is back up, while Destiny does not have Guardian because the cooldown is not back up. So this trade here was really bad by him because he couldn't, like, he lost his flash, and by losing his flash it means that they can't play as forward as they like to, and that means that the push they should have in that lane is negated by bad trades. And here too, the cleanse. So you can see here, thanks to that, bot lane, G2 bot lane can just push up, make a slow push and crush into the tower. And thanks to perks that as the push mid lane, he can just go up and make Destiny upset, just lose a lot of farm here. And they can almost get the first plate in the 3 minutes, which by the way is really hard normally because it has the armor, the bonus armor. Now Xerxes tries to fend off like Caps and Mickey, and in some way it really helps it because, you know, it lets upset and the Destiny get some farm, but it's not the best start for OG, and that's really good start by G2 by punishing OG mistakes. Because Yanko saw Xerxes in the bot lane, he knows that he can just go here easily, but he doesn't get that much. He helps push, and Alpha loses a bit of farm here, so he can let and I wonder can go back and just go back top again. This is fine. This is a good gank by Xerxes, because by doing this, Perks has no mana, and he probably can't stay in lane that much. So he has to push and go away, and he lets Nuke Duck get back to lane. And even though, like, you may think that the Wunder TP was not needed and maybe a bit too much, he doesn't really care because his lane is pushed. What the fuck? His lane is pushed in, so you can just TP there and walk back there, and you can see the lane is not even on the tower, so it's completely fine. Okay, so now there is Drake up. It depends on who want, like, the Mountain Drake is not that good right now, so it's not like, I don't think neither teams really are interested in it, but at the same time, like, maybe rushing the dragons and to get the Dragon Soul is really good. So they're just interested in, maybe someone is interested in rushing them so they can get like around 24 minutes the Dragon Soul if they win really hard early game. Now here, Xerxes does the same thing that they did before to the bot lane. To the OG bot lane is just threatens a dive on a crush, and Wunder has to back up. Now Xerxes kind of overreached because he didn't have to use flash there. If he just made Wunder flash and went back, it probably would have been really good. But in the end, it's not the end of the world. Mickey here, instead of going down with caps, roams up to the top to cover if, I don't know, like Xerxes went back or stuff like that. And now joins Yankos to clear the river, which is really good. Now in 1 minute there will be the Rift Herald. Normally with the Rift Herald now a lot of teams swap the bot lane into the top lane around 7:30, 8 minutes, so they have a tempo advantage and they can force it and try like doing a 3v5 or 4v5. But if I remember correctly, in this game they're not that interested, or at least they don't swap as early as I thought they would. So yeah, you can see they keep, Rumble is going back top, so they're not interested in already swapping, and Caps is going back bot, so yeah. But now G2 is taking vision of the river, so they have control over the dragon. They're pushing, the bot lane was pushed, but now Upset is probably pushing back, and the mid should be pushing towards OG. Now here Xerxes saw Yankos just by the thing, like with the Tremor Sense, and the bot lane has a push, the top lane has a push for Origen side, and mid lane they can push it. So I think here is one of the errors made by Origen, or at least one more that, it's not an error, it's just like, you can see how far he's going down. Because he has push on top lane, mid lane is pushing right now because Nukeduck is still there, and bot lane, now that they see Xerxes there and they see the Nukeduck can push back up, back down, and how far is coming, they're probably just gonna go back and get pushed. And here Origen could do a Drake because Perks is going back, but they don't do it. Like, they don't care. Even here, like, if they knew they weren't gonna do this, Capsy has to back, or at least to catch the wave, so they could just do the dragon. They don't have perfect control over mid, but I'm pretty sure they could just do dragon and then swap. Instead, they don't do dragon and swap, so meaning they don't care about the dragon. But it's not like it's a debuff if you don't get the dragon. It's if you can get it because to punish the others, so you don't lose anything, it's completely fine to do it. And now there is the other error, is that if you swap, you're interested in swapping, is that you have tempo advantage to get the Rift Herald, but instead of going to the Rift Herald immediately with Alfari there and the Nukeduck, it just has to, like, I don't know, you can send Destiny and Xerxes to the mid, help Nukeduck push, and then move towards the Rift Herald, and you still see Caps, because Caps, like, finished pushing the wave 5 seconds ago. You can just start here, like, in 10 seconds, Rift Herald, and you have a lot of time before the G2 bot lane can reach you. And they don't do that, because they're still waiting. They're waiting for something that is never come. Like, because the other teams they fought, they were almost like them, so they weren't as good at them because they didn't have good mechanics, and they knew that they outscaled them because of the drafts and stuff like that. But here, G2 is a different kind of team because they know how to punish you and they know how to beat you. So now, immediately when Mickey and Caps reach the Rift Herald, they started. And I don't understand why they shouldn't. They see Alphari on the bot lane now. There is the YouTube thing on, but there is Alphari in the bot lane. He has TP, but they have Wunder there, so they still have a 5v4 until the TP comes in. And they started because they have number advantage. And now Destiny fucks up because probably doesn't know that well still. I forgot probably about the Soraka silence, because here you can see he silence Destiny, Rakan, so he can't flash and he can't W out and he can't E, so he just dies. And Alphari TP's bot and does a really great ult, but you can see here like what Frost meant with the Wunder, with the Soraka, that is countering the Rumble. They all are still full health, even though they lost like half of their life to the Rumble ult. So they just don't care that much. They had advantage because when OG lost Destiny, they had no engage, and so they got 2 kills because OG didn't want to get that Herald, like they didn't fight at a proper time for the Herald. And while all this is happening, you can see Perks is 20 farm ahead, minions ahead, and he has 1 kill. So he's getting like, his lead is getting bigger and bigger. And as I said before, Silas, the more he is behind, the more useless he is. So this is probably the worst thing that could happen to Silas, is that Perks got those kills. He got only 1, but it's still like really, really further than the Silas here. And the thing is that after that fight, even now Wunder has TP advantage, but they need to send Alphari bot. So after sending Alphari bot, Alphari has to push and always move back up, because if they want to start, like if G2 start a fight at a Herald, they either lose the fight or like lose the Herald, or have him going back up and try to enter the fight while Wunder can push and TP. You can see here like G2 has complete control over the river, of the top river, so they know everything that is happening around the Rift Herald. And now they do something really, really interesting, that is, while you have complete control over the top side and the Rift Herald, because they see here Xerxes, Nukeduck and Alphari, and Destiny, instead of going back down, it went towards the top lane. Of course they don't know that, but if Destiny went back down here, they maybe could have fought, like OG could have fought here, but instead, because of Destiny going back up, while he saw Mickey and Yankas going back down, and now G2 have the Dragon, while they have complete control over the Rift Herald, so they know they can take Rift Herald after this, and Origen can't trade here. And you can see why they want to fight here. Like, not only they're really far ahead, like on how they're moving and stuff like that, the mid lane is an item stronger than the other, because it has Luden Sacco, and Luden Sacco perks is really, really, really strong, because it can chunk out like a lot of the carries, like Upset and Xerxes. You can destroy them with just because it's LeBlanc. With just Luden Sacco, it's completely fine. And so here we are, going back to the Rift Herald after taking Drake, because they know they have push advantage. And here is the big deal, because Wunder, even though like he's taking damage and he has to ult and stuff like that, it means that Alfari is stuck bot. And here, Wunder can TP, so it's a 5v4. And okay, wait. Oh, you can't see this. Now, there was a juggling before this. I saw it in Pro View while I was watching the game. That NukeDuck kinda kept the Rift Herald aggroed while he could just go back and let it reset. So that was a big mistake, in my opinion. But here you can see the fight is... Perks is playing this really well because it's behind the wall and he's just going forward with the W over the wall. So if they get him in some way, he still have flash and he can just W back. And here is the example, like Destiny tried to catch him out of position, but Perks, because he didn't walk forward but he used W, he could just go back instantly and have no problem. And so here, yeah, G2 get the Rift Herald, they get 2 kills if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, they get NukeDuck 2. This is the first death in the split of NukeDuck, by the way, so not the greatest, but yeah. And they can even get the mid lane tower. So here we can see that this is not only G2 playing well and moving well in the map, but it's more than that. It's punishing OG mistakes or OG not doing what they should have done. That's the biggest punish they're giving to OG. Now there, by hitting Perks, they knew that the river was probably gone, so they won there, cleared the river, and now Destiny is in the bot river, like inside the blue top river, top jungle, because he knows that Yankus is not there and Perks has to back and come back up, so he's taking some vision and he's staying near upset because he can just, if someone comes, he can just jump there, get vision on someone, jump to upset and go back. But he gets caught and dies. And that's a big error, by the way, because it means that they still have more tempo advantage on G2 side, which is always a bad thing if you're OG, because the further you go, the further you need G2 to make a mistake, because you can't win the game on your own. And here you can see Perks is just gonna split top, and they're gonna instead OG choose to fight here because it's OG choosing to fight, because NukeDuck goes down. They know probably the Wunder just backed up, so they know, like, they have like they know Alfari has TP, so they're like, we have TP advantage, we see where Perk is, so NukeDuck just goes in. The problem is that he's the only engage here because Destiny is not here, so they think they can do it, but it's still a 4v4. You know, it's a 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 5v4 now that Destiny got here, but Destiny tried to engage, got hooked and dies. There was a great hook by Mickey. I don't think that what Destiny did was wrong. I just think that Mickey is really good and was one of the best plays he did this game. Now Upset is running while all of his team is dead, and just gets a kill because Perks overgreeds. It's not the only time that Perks kind of overgreeds this game, but it's fine because they're so far ahead that he doesn't really care. So now there will be a Drake in 30 seconds. G2 still has control over that lane, and so they don't really care that much. They're probably just gonna take it almost as it comes back up. Wait, no, that's not wrong. You can do 1.5 until Perks is always on the backside dealing damage, flanking, and that's why they couldn't do anything, because Perks is so far ahead now that in every fight, if Perks has the right side, OG can't do almost anything. They need a perfect team fight. Yeah, you can see here G2 just got the Drake because they had tempo advantage. And yeah, so... And now Baron is up. Senna and Trash are mid. Perks is still pushing top. And wait, so what happened here? How did we get here? We have let's see. Immediately after respawning, OG sent all of their team bot lane. They see Soraka. They don't know about Yankers, but they see Soraka, now they see Yankers. And they're like, yeah, we probably saw Perks. We see Perks on the vision in the top side. And we know where Senna and Trash are. So let's just dive them. We have a lot of people here, so we can just dive them and kill them all. And this is a great play by OG. This is one of the only proactive plays that OG does in this game, which is a good sign, because I think that OG can win, could win this game. And I think that OG, if they are a bit more proactive, they can be the top 1 or top 2 in Europe. I just think that they need to be a little more lax, like, and do whatever they think is right and not do everything by the book, and they should be fine. Of course, that doesn't mean take too many risks, but it doesn't mean not do anything. While this was happening, Perks got the tower in top, so Perks is getting so much gold. Like, you can see the farm difference is 50-60 farm, and he has 2 kills. So it's now Perks is really far ahead, and he can just solo carry this whole game. And they keep sending him to the side lanes solo, so he can get the tower gold and the farm and everything. It's just on the other side you have OG that keeps sending Rumble to the side lanes. So Rumble is getting really far ahead, but Rumble, to function and to show that lead, needs to have a team fight, while LeBlanc can keep being in the sides and still getting towers, farm, being annoying, poking. So it's easier on the G2 side, and it's easier for G2. Of course, there are a lot of teams that cannot play LeBlanc because they can't side lane, but for G2 that are able to side lane, having this setup is way easier and is way stronger over the OG side, because OG needs a perfect needs something to happen, like need an error by G2 trying to team fight, which is not gonna happen if G2 play decently. So now the Baron is up, G2 try kind of try to control over that area, but now Dragon is coming, so they have to get push in the bot and the mid, get a bit of vision, which they don't have right now over the Drake area, and so are sending 3 people. Now they're sending LeBlanc down. Normally she would stay up, but now she has no reason to stay up because Drake is coming back up, and they would really love to have an Infernal Drake. And they are so strong they can just push Origen away, because Perks is really strong. And now they have a free Drake. So you can see here, like, until G2 does make an error, OG can't contest for almost anything at all. So now, yeah, they just go back to what they always used to do. So sending Perks top, sending Soraka. Now, right now Soraka is around the middle, so it's probable then they'll try to do something around Baron now, because you can see Soraka there, and they're ignoring the Rumble. So No, they're sending. Okay, no, they're going up now. They're all so there are 5 G2 members around the top lane that need to take control of the river, push the waves, and start threatening the Baron. Because they have Soraka, they can threaten the Baron a lot because they can keep getting healed. And now Origen needs to bring Alphari up. And everything here is perfect by G2 because not only they have the top lane, like the top jungle controlled, everything controlled here, they just need Miki to annoy Alphari, Destiny, Xerxes in particular because they just want to stop a steal from happening, and Perks be on the flanks, out of vision, and deal a lot of damage to everyone, and it's completely fine. So that's just what they do. They leave Caps and Jankos there to attack because Senna has a heal. Soraka has a heal, so you can see they're still full health. And now OG needs to go here because they can't go anywhere else to fight for this. But they know that, and they can see with the Tremor Sense, that Perks is always behind them and is closing them. So here they're just completely closed because they can't go anywhere. They need to go in. And so, let's see. And so Destiny goes in, but they're just really, really weak. Perks is on the side, so he's closing them. And they're just killing everyone. And now that after killing jungle, not jungle, like bot and the mid, they can just threaten again the Baron. But now they have 5 members against 3 members. So they're completely fine. But now Perks, ints, and everything changed because all of this big goal difference is on Perks and slightly on Caps, but not that much on Caps. It's still a bit, but not that much, and still Xayah is really good. But if Perks dies, they can't do the Baron in the same way because they can't threaten to kill everyone on OG team. And here, for some reason, G2 thinks, yeah, it's still 4v4. Like it's a 4v4 because Destiny comes here. It's still a 4v4. We can fight this, can't we? Like, we should be able to fight this, but there was no reason to do this. They could just wait for Perks and do the same thing again. And so they lose mid and jungle. And Nuke Duck TPs behind them. This is a really good play by OG, by the way. And they get 4 kills. And they can take Baron. So this was the big error made by G2. Which was, of course, like, it's because they were winning so much, probably. They thought that doesn't care what I do. Like, it's not a big deal. We probably win anyway, so I don't care what I'm doing here. I just know I'm gonna win. And they lose the Baron, and they lose 4 kills. So it was not the greatest play, but like, props to OG for punishing so much. So still OG is a really good team, and I think this game was not so bad by them. But okay, so let's 1 second. So here you can see on the small screen on the side that OG now have reset and are going all towards the bot lane because Dragon is coming back up. And G2 was already there, so they took control of the river. But Alphari just goes a bit forward. Remember, all of the gold inside of OG, like the gold, most of it's on Alphari. And in particular, Alphari has a Morellonomicon, which is a really good item if you want to stop the other team from healing. And if the other team has a Soraka and has a Senna, they really want them to stop healing. But is the only player on the G side that has Grievous Wounds. So if he dies, and he dies here, not only it's a 4v5 without the strongest member, but I have no way of stopping G2 from healing. So here they lose 3 members, and G2 can take the dragon. This is Infernal Soul, and and this is how OG kind of threw the lead. The lead it was not really a lead, but it threw the game after being thrown to them the game. Like it's a really back and forth of bad decisions here. You can understand why they happen, like they must be under a lot of pressure, but still it doesn't really mean anything. So now G2 have mid lane pushing, so they push top wave inside the tower, and now they reach to the mid wave and take the tower there, and now can push the waves. Like they can have a top lane slow push, and they can have mid lane push and bot lane push. They don't have Baron, remember that OG has Baron, so they don't have that much of a threat on the tower, but it's so strong that they don't really care if they have Baron or not. Like they're still stronger. So you can see here they don't care about the mid lane because they have perks on top lane pushing. So OG kind of try to get what they can by seeing perks on the top lane and push through mid and get to towers, which is well played, but the problem is that while this could be like, this is the last play they can do, because top lane is pushing and they're now pushing mid lane G2 or on G2 side, so they can just go there and fight for inhibitors. And you can see here how strong perks is. It chunks upset completely, like to 1/3 of life, and so upset has to go back. But because upset is the main wave clear they have, they can just take top tower and go for the inhibitor. So it's completely fine. So now we see upset going forward after coming back. Steps a bit too forward and dies, and Destiny dies too. So this is the end of the game. G2 had control since 15 minutes. Let's say around 9 minutes when they got the Drake, and 10 minutes when they fought for the Rift Herald for the first time. And since then they never lost control apart from the Baron. But it was a clean game by G2. It was a not so clean game by OG because of the flank at Rift Herald and in general the thing that they did not do in particular. While I think they made some blunders during the team fights. I think the biggest problem in this game was their draft and the things that they did not do during the game. And G2 are probably the best team to punish teams that don't do anything. So yeah, this was the game. G2 kind of smashed. G2 are now the only team in Europe that are 4-0. So let's see if they are able to go for a 18-0 this year. It would be really interesting. It would be really nice because it's if they can do it with a role swap during the same season, they could, and maybe even if they win MSI again, that would be probably the strongest showing of every European team of all time. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you like it. I hope my English is not as bad as sometimes it can be. It depends. If I'm talking quickly, if I'm not really thinking about what I'm saying, I could have a horrible grammar, but I hope it sounds decent. And so thank you for listening to this video. I hope it's to your liking. Like, subscribe. You can find me on Twitch at name Anyon, which is ANY0N. So thank you and see you next time.